as well, which will be laser against Drogo. Even though we've already had a PZ as well earlier in the day, which was quite crazy. Let's jump right into it here on Blackburn. Starting in the bottom left-hand side of the map, in the reds, it is Bly.
And spawning her in the bottom right-hand side as our blue Protoss, it is ShaDoWn. I had some games against Bly with my Protoss, and I don't know whether he... Yeah. I made an effort of trying to hit GM with all three, just to make sure that I know a little bit of what I'm on about, you know what I mean? But he would very often go for a hatchery in my wall off, and I don't know if it was a disrespect play, but I played him like 3 games in a row, and he did it every freaking time. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is annoying, because I didn't play against anybody else that did it to me either. But this game, no shenanigans going on. ShaDoWn went for the early hatch block, which pretty much every Protoss goes for these days, and he's going to feel pretty comfortable with getting a very, very quick Nexus here as well. So as far as PPCs go, this is a fairly standard one.
And he might have done it because he knows that you're not usually a Protoss player, so you might not know how to react the best to it, which is like the point for a lot of his builds. Is to like do them for the first time, because he knows people won't know about them too much. But I really thought this was going somewhere. I thought you were going to tell me I defended easily and then beat him, but what's happened in these games?
Maybe in one game, Todd. Maybe in one game. You know, I didn't want to brag too much, but okay. You know, I feel let down almost. I was tuning into this and I was like, I think Bly's going to do something super weird really quickly. But so far, he's playing totally standard, Todd.
Yeah, sometimes if your opponent is too ready for it, you can just play entirely standard for the first part of the game. And then when he starts being a little too relaxed and your opponent thinks you're going to do everything normally, like a regular player would, that's when you start mixing in crazier stuff, crazier timings, over-aggression. A cheeky Nidus here and there, even though I feel like we really don't see these too much anymore. And he opened up with speed, which is always like, you know, if Bly would open like with a lot of drones and like skip on speed for a very long time, that's when I would be like, okay, well, this is probably not the best style for him. He has to make his opponent worried, and I think with opening for that quick speed like he did here, he's still going to achieve that.
Certainly. The probe does get back home, and it will be a Stargate opening for the French Protoss over here. Bly won't be able to scout that anytime soon. That Overlord is very comfortably sat above the natural. Now this Overlord, this is the one that has some work to do to find out what he's up against, and it will be an Oracle for ShaDoWn here.
He tries to push the Overlord to the left here with the attack on the Stalker, but he will get in position on time to be safe on the high ground, but then you can just get one of your air unit, in this case the Oracle, to maybe go there to kill the Overlords. Does he actually do that, or does he want to go harass immediately? It's this little dance, you know, already where they both started kind of reacting to each other.
Yeah, I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised if he just sends over the Oracle to get the vision kind of thing, but oh, the Overlord, it's gone, Todd. He is going to go down for it, but the wall, it is closed off again. Bly really wanted to get the scout off there inside the base, but honestly, after having the Oracle revealed, very unlikely that a Protoss would have got a sentry out to make that hallucination. So he does know it's real, and he gets the confirmation here.
So 3 minutes 58 third Nexus here from ShaDoWn, where he's keeping the Oracle back at home to be safe. He's only on the 2 gases that he has in the main. Now finally he's going to take the 2 on his expansion. Already being on 2 gates is kind of nice here, because he can get some extra depth on the Expo in case there were to be links rushing him. And Bly, he's playing really greedy. He's just massing drones. Well, not really greedy, you know, like he's got Queens and he's got Injects. He could make links if need be, but he skipped the Roach one entirely so far.
Bly is definitely a guy that I know likes his Nidus, or rather his Swarm Host still, even though they're not super duper the trendiest thing to do at the moment. But a lot of Zergs do like their Queen Walks. I think this map's a little bit tricky for any of the Queen Walk stuff though, because it's like, even though the rush distance isn't that much bigger on this map than any regular map, in fact I think it's maybe even less, it's still just awkward moving along this map, I feel. Yeah,
with all the ramps and everything. Some of them
the ramps, slow zones.
But the Adept shaded across the map. But Bly, I guess there was the Oracle in defense. Very well calculated, actually, by ShaDoWn. Uses Revelation on the Queen and the Overlords.
Yeah, I think it was ideally for the creep tumors that he was getting. He just keeps on popping here, but these Adepts, they do go into the main base by the looks of it. That is a cheeky little laying on his side of the map. And Bly, he looks like he's pretty well covered for this. Losing 2 drones thus far, make that 3. Oh, and they're out of there. But overall, oh, that was a funny revelation.
He actually, I thought he might cancel the shade for a second, but yeah, Bly was staying on top of these Adepts, so it was the right move to actually go through with it. ShaDoWn built up his economy very nicely. 60 walkers to 60. He's adding more gates and he's going blink. And I was talking about this with Kev earlier. He was saying that if you open with blink, it's almost always like really good. If you can just play defensively very well with it and then just build yourself up into whatever it is you want after that.
Oh, it is a Nidus this game, so it will be Swarm Host Nidus, which is definitely powerful. I will. There certainly is. In the bottom of the main, you're talking about, yeah?
Yeah. Oh no,
that could be gnarly. You know, I was thinking as well, Blink Stalkers, it was kind of invented by stats, or at least popularized by stats. They're actually maybe one of the best ways to deal with Swarm Host play. Just very quick, very nimble, can pounce, and can get damage done. Kind of avoiding the Swarm Host most of the time. Oh my goodness, but here it is. It's starting, Todd, it's starting. But there aren't any actually Swarm Hosts being made. This is probably going to be scarier for ShaDoWn than you'd actually think, first off.
He has a recall. Does he
it's
want
the
a recall?
one roach!
Just a couple roaches to harass the workers, and he's doing another Nidus in the top right-hand side. So he just wants to get the cancel on that base as well. Dark Shrine on the way, by the way.
I think the Dark Shrine will definitely help a lot with this. Bly was kind of supply stuck, actually. Like, he was out of 136 supply, which is why he's making 10 Overlords at once. Oh, definitely problematic for Bly. He probably will get this council, but this has been... yeah, when you're this high in Overlords kind of thing, without an army, I mean, this could have been way, way, way more for Bly, right?
Yeah. Definitely could have killed more probes, perhaps, if he had more roaches there in the main base. ShaDoWn forgot to resaturate the assimilators that he has in the main base. 12 Swarmos on the way. The thing is, ShaDoWn has a very, very strong force right now, so he can start moving out and be aggressive a little bit himself.
Yeah, I like ShaDoWn. He's got a lot of blue on the map where he's trying to spot for where Niduses can potentially be. But the thing is, Bly's put it in like the most obvious location, which in itself is the least obvious location. That one will probably get cancelled. That was a big warping of Stalkers.
And these Swarmos are like, we have no purpose right now. They're gonna start
They really
peeking.
don't. And ShaDoWn, like, this is already a very weird PvZ, right? Like, we have Stalkers, we have Disruptors coming out. It's just unusual in so many ways for me.
Ooh, 2 DTs up there. And Bly not quite ready. There's no Overseer nearby. If he at least finds out... Oh, he could kill the Nidus with the DTs. And then catch... Oh my god, he's trying to go for it. He traps 5 of the Swarm hosts here. And he's going to be able to snipe them here, thanks to Blink. ShaDoWn with a big pickoff.
ShaDoWn's playing really well, actually. Like, you know, I was mainly thinking about what Bly was going to do this game, but ShaDoWn, so far, just been very solid. And he's kind of survived the crazy stage of Bly. Bly behind all this, though, it's got to be said, his drone count is insane. He's at 89 drones. And Stalkers, they don't scale super damn well. Like, you kind of have to do something with them at this point.
It's actually hard for Bly to get a fight out in the open now as well against this many sentries. Like, yes, he can break force fields with the Ravagers. Yeah, something was harassing in the top left-hand side, but finally got destroyed. Those Niduses look so hopeless as well. Like, he keeps on trying to go for them, but they're in vision, easy to cancel. He's trying to engage out on the map at the same time.
This is not bad by Bly. His army is actually very it's very decent against Blink Stalkers. Like, having this many Lings, he's going to have Hive kind of soon. Bly doesn't look like he's in trouble of dying anytime soon. And ShaDoWn's army, it doesn't really get a hell of a lot better, honestly. Like, I know the +2's coming in and what have you, but that is so many Stalkers, which, yeah, I feel that he survived, but he almost expected Bly to go way more crazy with this than he did.
Oh, the Void Ray! Didn't quite move out of the way. Hive is on the way. I think ShaDoWn is not recognizing that perhaps there was room for him to be more aggressive here. With a Prism reinforcing and actually going for an attack. Actually, he's moving out now, but I don't see a Prism nearby. And he's also... What makes me say that is that he's going for 2 more Stargates and a Fleet Beacon, so I think he might want to play slow.
It looks like it. Looks like he wants to. Bly just made 68 Lings and 28 Banelings, realizing, oh, damn, there's a Protoss army kind of outside my Nashville right now. The Swarmos are being used on the other side of the map for Bly. That's a lot of Banelings. And the first Disruptor comes in. Not a bad shot, not a bad shot.
He killed the Stargate and the Fleet Beacon with that wave of Locusts. There goes that transition.
Yeah, that Fleet Beacon needs to be made somewhere else, and I don't think ShaDoWn's even... maybe not even truly realized what happened then. Ah, he did. But he is mainly just kind of concerned about this army right now, which is going to be getting scarier, Todd. +2 melee on the way, Adrenal. Along with Great Aspire, maybe most importantly. And when Broodlords come out, those Stalkers get even more useless, I feel, even though Stalkers are kind of the counter to Broodlords as well.
It kind of feels like he should fight before that, but this Link, Bane, Ravager army is really tricky. Oh, the Oracle. Actually, one of them gets sniped, the other one almost.
This is... I'm almost surprised Bly didn't go for it right there. Although, you know, he's got that retreat path into the slow zones. This might be a perfect spot, but Bly, he is playing super annoying, man. And I guess he's right that he isn't attacking because he's the one that doesn't really have to.
He's finding some damage here and there. He had the rich mineral filled base. He forced all the probes back of ShaDoWn. He's taking a little bit of time to send those back to work. Ling's in the top right now, finding some damage as well. 2 DTs. Gonna have to work overtime. As probes start falling, that's always really bad here to lose probes.
It's just bad where the Protoss is on the back foot, isn't it? Like, there's so much Ling Bane. Like, even the army of Bly, if it trades out, it's going to trade out. You never kill Banelings. Oh, and these Biles. He's being very annoying as Bly, but I like the way that he's playing because ShaDoWn's army, even though it is mobile, is not that strong.
He blinked into a corrosive bile. Not the best. Yeah, those Links in the top right hand side found more snipes here. ShaDoWn, I don't know. A War Prism towards the main maybe would have been good. Some units in the top left. That base was finally retaken. He finds another Nidus around the top
10 Broodlords on the way. Where are they being morphed in, by the way? Because this is kind of ShaDoWn's chance here, but 10 Broodlords, and they're all about to finish up. This is very, very scary for ShaDoWn. The one advantage that he does have, though, is the Banelings are on the north side of the army. Ah, the Swarmos are over to the left as well.
Oh my god, that disruptor shots! He gets so many Banelings in one single shot here. As this army is getting chased back right now. Broodlords are gonna help out a ton with those Broodlings, the Locusts as well. ShaDoWn kind of getting caught on creep here, very deep on the other side of the map.
ShaDoWn's army just evaporated, man. Like, I'm not even sure what that army was meant to do against what Bly had. Like, Bly's army was just better in nearly every way. That carrier transition couldn't come any sooner for ShaDoWn, but behind it all, he's on 6 bases, Todd, or at least he's taking his 6th base, which is nice. And Bly, I don't think he has any idea that carriers are coming because his anti-air it's going to be 2 Corruptors.
Yeah, I mean, you can just go into Corruptors very easily here once he realizes that's happening. Zealots against Lings here at the top. It's 3-0 upgraded Zealots against +2 attack Zerglings, no Carapace. Actually, that's kind of weird. So the Lings kind of got slayed in the direct fight, but they're sniping probes in the top right again. ShaDoWn not reacting to this.
This is a rough one. This is a rough one. Like, ShaDoWn, even though he can win this army now, he's losing bases. And it's one of those things where he's almost on a clock now, and Bly, he's like, ah, damn, these Broodlords, not going to win against these carriers, given that I literally cannot shoot them. The Swarm House coming in as well, dealing some damage at that south base, and now the Corruptors are shown, but they arrived in pretty few numbers. It's got to be said, this, Todd, is a tiny bit of a clown fiesta. Mainly because it felt like a lot of stuff was just, Bly, you were so damn rich, and maybe could have played it a little bit more patiently before he moved out.
Yeah, at least the hatchery in the top left survived, so you can start resaturating that, but I feel like Bly sometimes he just can't help himself. He just wants to fight no matter what, so he's always trying to be super active. And when ShaDoWn was kind of staying on his side of the map, he was just kind of throwing away Niduses one after the other without really achieving much other than keeping ShaDoWn on his side of the map, which maybe that was enough for him.
Yeah, the Swarm House positioning now, like being able to fire on that gold base is definitely annoying. But if I compare this with what the situation was like a couple of minutes ago, I hated ShaDoWn's position. Now I'm thinking that he absolutely has a shot. Like, Bly's biggest advantage was his bank, which he just completely went through. Then he lost so many broods unnecessarily and stuff. But it's absolutely a game again.
Neither player has a ton of mobility. And unlike the previous game that we saw earlier, or the previous series where Saltov was playing Hellraiser, it doesn't feel like the creep spread is being really relevant. Or actually, ShaDoWn, meaning to fight, gets on top of this army. Bly trying to retreat. Broodlord's in danger, everything's clumped up, he should be fighting. I don't think he can retreat from this.
Oh, I think Bly took the fight way too soon, right? Like, I don't think he was anticipating this, but his army got absolutely melted, Todd. You don't take down that many carriers and live to tell the tale. Bly just... his whole army got evaporated. One void comes in from the wrong side of town. The Archons are trying to chase down this army as well. Oh my goodness. This all went absolutely terrible for the Ukrainian.
Oh, he actually evacuated with the Nidus. That's pretty cool. And without that, those units would have been trapped on the other side of the map. Yeah, Bly lost so many units. ShaDoWn now with the huge supply leads. And mining somewhat safely on his side of the map, but he has to remake that Nexus down there, I guess, and the one at the top. But he still has a decent amount of probes left with 59 against the 68 of Bly right now, who's under heavy siege.
Wow, GG. That game, that really escaped Bly just then, and it felt like he didn't really know what was happening until it happened, you know? Like, I saw his Twitter. I like to see what players are thinking before and after games and stuff, and what's their general mindset. He talked about how he was tunnel visioning in a previous series, and he felt that it really cost him. And I would say the same thing kind of happened here for him, in that he kind of got stuck, even though earlier with the Swarm House, he did kill a fleet beacon and Stargates, and he saw multiple going up, whether he actually saw it or not. But he had to... if that information did seep in, he knew what was the next step for ShaDoWn, but he literally had 2 Corruptors in production, and that was his only anti-air that he had. And he just made everything into Broodlords, attacked, saw some carriers, and just got absolutely stomped from that point on. He just was not prepared for that air switch.
It seems like he played overly aggressive. Like when you play with Broodlords, you kind of have to split the map a lot of the time, and then just turtle with a lot of spores, take it slow and all that. But he just wanted to be aggressive. He saw an opportunity to try and deal some damage. He went for it. ShaDoWn with the really good defense the entire game. That first Nidus actually had me really worried, but then it did like very, very little. Like I was surprised at how little it did.
It was really unusual actually too, because like a lot of the power of the Nidus is the fact that if it's unscouted, it can take you by super surprise. It was like one roach came out initially to hit the Stargate and really alerted him of where it was. Then a flood of roaches, but it really allowed ShaDoWn quite a bit of time to just kind of realize what was going on. But yeah, I'm quite impressed by ShaDoWn. Like the Disruptors got some really huge hits on those Banes, it's got to be said. And then his army composition was just significantly better than Bly's. And also, I know like we can give Protoss players a lot of grief, but I like how he actually focused down the air units as well, one by one with his carriers. It was very clean. The Archons did good job of keeping the Corruptors away as well. Just overall nice play. I'm excited to see what happens on Atmospheres. It's a newer map. When I look at it, I'm like, oh, okay, definitely some Nidus shenanigans can happen here, but I don't think Bly played too bad either. I just think he got a little bit carried away there.
All right, let's jump right into it here. Okay, Atmosphere starting in the top right-hand side of the map. Playing as the red Zerg is Bly.
And playing as the blue Protoss in the bottom left, it is ShaDoWn.
There's some very standard and solid play here out of him in game number 1. Nothing over-aggressive. I almost want to say it was like pretty passive for the most part. Like, yes, he opened with an Oracle, but there was no big Adept attack headed the other side or anything. Like, he was just like an Oracle into like, what, 2 Adepts or a couple Adepts shading, and then which he then sent back and saved. So some good value out of all of his units in the start.
And also, like, the fact that he's going up against Bly as well. A lot of players can play overly safe and, you know, really set themselves behind. He didn't. Like, he got 3 Oracles out, was constantly revelating as well. I like that he respected his opponent, but didn't fear his opponent at all. And it was all... He wasn't thrown off, which just showed that he is quite an experienced player. And for those that don't know, ShaDoWn quite a few years ago was absolutely on the up and up. He's a player that has absolutely reached like 6.7k-ish on EU, maybe even higher, that I don't know about. But yeah, definitely a solid player all around.
What's that rank-wise, 6.7?
K MMR on EU.
Yeah, but usually around what rank does that put you?
Oh, top 10, top 10.
That's pretty crazy, actually. That's really high. Where are you at?
I'm like 6.4, 6.3.
Where's that 7k demo queen, man? Come on.
You know, it's in the making, Todd. It's in the making. I'm currently playing Protoss, so maybe next week.
Maybe.
Nah, I'm kidding.
Baby demo like, will get it before you do.
baby demo, dude. It's worth mentioning though. Like, I've seen some names like Liquid Mana, Liquid Hearthstone, like on his Cowboy account. He's about 6.5k MMR. Because I know a lot of people talk about, oh, he's not 7k, or oh, if he's 7k, he's good. But your rank on EU, like, you have pro players varying from anything like 6.4 and above. But it's ridiculously hard to get there and maintain it. So the 7k players, those guys are ridiculously sick, or just in very good form at the moment.
They're part of a very select elite club, that's for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. This game looking very similar to the last, like Stargate opening from ShaDoWn. I do find it fun that he gets the Stalker first to kind of poke away the Overlord. Because from a lot of Stargate players, they don't tend to always get the Stalker. It does make for a stockier front wall against potential things like a Baneling bust and what have you, but it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, he likes to deny the potential for scouting a lot, I guess. It's like once you build a habit or something like this, it's really hard to stray away from that. Like, you probably feel more uncomfortable if he was to open, like, you know, multiple adepts first. And he did.
You got any habits that you wish you could get rid of?
A lot, probably. I think I was also kind of a stalker guy because I really disliked when like an overlord would fly in. They just kind of see everything. You know, if you go double adept and then the opponent just sends the overlord in, like there's a chance he makes it all the way to the back of your base and then he just sees everything.
I'm a shameless Protoss. I just put my Stargate in my front wall, so then I don't even need the second gateway. And I'm like, gonna make Void Rays, homie.
Do you skip Wargate though? Because that's the next step of being a
Abso-frickin-lutely. Abso-frickin-lutely. I went and studied some Rotterdam builds, and I was like, oh, that's how I make a wall. And I was like, yeah, and it was awesome. I started winning not very many games. No, I'm just kidding, Kev.
Did you start making 7 pylons when you make an additional necklace on a new and double escalation?
You know, one of my favorite things about Kev is every base that you look at, it's 18 out of 16 probes on it. Keep your eyes open for that one. It's always red digits. And I'm always like, Kev, put 16, mate. Like,
It's one of those things that I can't unsee
it.
now. Every time I'm going to see it, I'm going to be like, oh my God, he was right.
Yeah, 18 out of 16 every time. Every time. I've told him too. I've told him. You know, I messaged Kev today. I was like, hey, Kev, you sent this message for me yet? And he's like, oh, yeah, I haven't done it yet. And he said he'd do it 6 months ago. And, oh, my boy, Kevin, stubborn lad. He's a stubborn lad.
So the two oracles didn't really do too much. So far, 4 drones have gone down. Bly's on 48 workers against 51, but he's looking to drone up a bunch more. He's on, what, 3 gases, and he's taking 2 more.
It's got to be said, these guys are literally going for the identical builds that they did last game.
Yeah.
Bly has a very low drone count for this stage, though. Like ShaDoWn, I don't know whether he's just been chrono boosting out probes or what have you, but or Bly hasn't been droning enough. This will be a nice match, though. These adepts are getting caught.
Roddickman's going back. They've been shooting at the oracles this whole time. That's a lot of links that were made. Almost feels as if he was planning some sort of attack, and this almost feels old school from ShaDoWn, where he went for like multiple sentries. Like this used to be the standard. Now that there is Ravagers that can break force fields, you usually go for this a lot less, but this still gives you scouting potential with the hallucinated Phoenix.
Yeah, definitely. Like if I didn't know better, this could be a Lilbo game back from when Lilbo was one of the absolute best, you know? Do you remember those games where it was like single Oracle? Whether if it kills like 6 drones, game's over. If it doesn't, then they have a chance to hold the Stalker sentry push. Oh, I like this though. That is a big stasis in the main. That's a lot of denied mining. And oh, by the way, I love this map for this particular strat. Like, look at that dead airspace behind the main. Like that is a these oracles can potentially poke out at any point here.
ShaDoWn's income, mineral income, spiked at 2,800s. Bly was at 1,100 until a second ago. Oh, he misclicked. Oh, okay. Fixed it in the main base. He pressed stop, I think, after he clicked the minerals, so the drones were not moving for a second. Hey, you can just keep on spamming it.
You can keep on spamming what, sorry?
The stasis trap in each mineral line.
Yeah, you definitely can. He's also going for muter upgrades here, or at least air upgrades with the attack damage and stuff. And ShaDoWn, you're right in that it feels old school. Because this move out, it feels like a I'm just going to keep you honest move out. Doesn't feel like a real one, but Bly, he's got quite a lot of units. The Biles, boom. That was quite a grab by the Ukrainian.
And ShaDoWn, it seems like once he's up to 3 bases, it's his standard to throw in a Dark Shrine. My man.
It definitely feels like ShaDoWn can't really get much done with these Stalker compositions. And yeah, getting the Phoenix, the single Phoenix. I wonder if that is literally just, oh, he's getting more Phoenix. So he obviously scouted the Spire, and he's just being a bit preemptive about the possibility of mutas being an issue, which I think that's good, but it's also the power of Zerg with, hey, I just got a Spire, now you have to respect it and get either cannons in all your bases or, you know, have enough units out that deal with mutas.
Ooh, Bly, that was actually a decoy here on the right-hand side, threatening the attack. He gets the cancel on the 4th base. Zerg players today have been doing really good at slowing down the expanding of Protosses and just finding damage here and there.
Yeah, they are certainly getting good. I think ShaDoWn's kind of allowing it to happen a little bit, though. He's getting double disruptors. Like, his unit comp is very unlike what you see a lot of Protoss go for. In fact, he's pretty much going for the exact opposite of what a lot of Protoss go for. Normally, it's either like Mass Voids, Mass Charge Lot Archon, Charge Lot Archon Immortal. This, in particular, like Stalker Disruptor, very unusual.
4 DTs. Ooh. Where is he going with this? There's enough spores everywhere, but if you kill a spore and there is no Overseer already morphed, that could be a hatchery going down very quickly. I actually wonder, like, what's going to be the goal? But he morphs Archons instead. Yeah, it's just morphing
the muter, I'd imagine. And he's also making quite a lot of Phoenix as well. So definitely respecting the muter, but he always was, right? He's up to 5 Phoenix now, soon to be 6. Bly is making nothing but units, but he's also taken into Ultras and the Greater Spire, which is cool by him. And the Mutas, they've shown up now.
There's the Phoenixes at. Here they come. If you can catch those Mutas and kill a lot of them, that would be super worth there for ShaDoWn. He's playing very cautiously.
Certainly is. Like, these Phoenix can definitely win this fight. And the Stalkers are warped in as well, just to help with healing with them. These Mutas definitely a little bit of damage done. I like the focus firing down to the probes as well. Now down to 59 probes versus 70 odd. Getting Corruptors. So Bly wants to get the Broodlords out ASAP against this, and this ground army. It's definitely lacking Immortals if he wants to deal with Ultras and stuff, but dealing with Broodlords, it's definitely a nimble army.
We saw how last game was almost turned on its head when the Broodlords started entering the field. ShaDoWn was actually in a very scary position, but then kind of salvaged that. So you can expect Bly to execute this better this time around, maybe not be as aggressive necessarily in the first place, secure all of his bases, a bit more static defense.
Runs into a big group of Corruptors here, and this was definitely a little ambitious by the Phoenix, dropping a couple of them. Honestly, if ShaDoWn can max out, he won't really want them in his comp anyhow, but yeah, you don't want to just give them away at the moment.
Oh, he caught some Roaches at the bottom. He's actually leaving that position for some reason. Could have just stood on top of it. Maybe he was afraid he would get attacked elsewhere at the same time, trying to recall those Phoenixes, and he does get out. Wait, was he killing his own gates?
That must be a mistake, yes. A bit of a mistake, bit of nerves kicking in here. Wanted to go attack the Roaches there just to be safe. But the carrier transition's happening again. I dare say this won't catch Bly as off guard this game. And I hope it doesn't, because fully morphing all your Corruptors into Broods was definitely ambitious, to say the least.
See 2 carriers on the way. He's getting 1 more Stargate. So that seems to be his go-to. Triple Stargates. Pump out a bunch of carriers. At least he started +1 early, so then he can keep those upgrades going.
Oh, the Ultras have been revealed, and double Immortal Start. So we did have double Robo. That's really good for ShaDoWn. Upgrades are still kicking in for both of them. We do have... I mean, that was a big set of stasis on these wings. Slowed down this attack a lot. But, a little run-by of they chargeless Zealots. They are, aren't they? Yeah, and ShaDoWn, I can see him smiling. He was smiling on his webcam when I think he realized, like, oh, damn, that's an important upgrade to miss out on.
At least you remember the +3 attack. And he's getting... What? Immortals? Why?
Ultras.
Carriers, bro.
Carriers tickle Ultras, my friend. Tickle them.
You tickled them to death, yeah. And the problem with going Immortals here is that you can anticipate there's going to be Broodlords. And, like, this is really the last unit you ever want to have against any sort of Broodlord composition. But maybe that's the plan, is to dispatch the carriers or Stalkers to deal with the air, and then I guess Disruptor and Immortals will deal with the ground.
Yeah, I mean, Immortals are obviously like the super counter to the Ultras, which getting rid of the Ultras allows you to pay a bit more attention to things like High Templars and what have you. We've seen multiple Protoss compositions against Zerg today. Why this game's just going for the raw power one, no spellcasters, and wow, that was one way to use all your disruptor shots in one go. I don't think that's what he should have done.
Yeah, he emptied the clip a bit too early here. Like with the easy dodge.
Those Corruptors, they've gone. Ravagers look funny when they're being picked up, man. They are wriggly.
They're trying to fight it.
Went to. What did they go do in the main? Did they kill some Stargates, or?
I think he was planning on it, but then he's setting up for the defense now. Obviously, like, Zerg has no recall, so if his army gets jumped on his side of the map and Corruptors are not there, it's going to be a very quick loss. So as they come back, ShaDoWn reacts by pulling back himself.
Yeah, ShaDoWn's being very patient here. There's 1 Viper, 1 Infestor on the map. The Queen counts at 5. And it's just a lot of Ling, Bane, Corruptor, Ultra. I'm still a bit worried about Bly when it comes to dealing with this mass air army, because I do think you have to kind of deal with it with a bit of finesse with the casters and stuff, but he's not... One more Viper, I'm not sure that's going to really cut it, but we'll see.
Bly with yet another sniper on the 5th base. Very well done. And actually, he engaged for a second, but then starts on pulling back. You can't blink forward, that's the thing. There's so many Banes and Ultras under those Corruptors. He actually blinks forward anyway, gets an Infestor before chasing Bly back to his base here.
I like that ShaDoWn's like, what did you say, Todd, about me not being able to blink forward? Just goes for it. And actually, all his blinks have been pretty nice. He's been picking off and shaving off units quite well. Bly's now just getting a lot of Corruptors out because he realizes, holy crap, I really got to respect that air army. So it's up to 30 Corruptors. Now I'm starting to worry for him because it's not just the air army he has to worry about. And his anti-ground, it's down to like 3 Ultras and 12 Banes right now. It's really minimal.
It's about to be a whole lot more Banes because he's morphing 17 more. Let's see, down, ready to fight. When Carrot dies before there's even any sort of engagement, there's a single Viper. He gets a perfect abduct here and snipes another one of these. Oh my god. Oh, he uses everything at once.
What was the phrase you used earlier? Emptying the clip?
Yeah. Actually, I think he has 1 Purification Nova left.
Just the fear of it is keeping Bly at bay right now. But Bly he's happy with the fact that he's not lost his army, I guess, with this, because he's just sat back. He's getting 8 Broodlords out now. And that definitely makes his anti-ground quite a bit better here.
Actually, by the way, he's injected so much in the main base. Like, look at how many lavas there are. It's like max lava. So he actually sent out the Queens now finally, and he might move out with them to actually try and fight.
Yeah, 55 larvae available, so he can definitely remax on something. His money's fairly low though, considering. That's a lot of Banes. ShaDoWn, okay, ShaDoWn's just about quick enough to react here. And I say that. Oof. Banes, man, they're good. They're good.
So the upgrade,
ShaDoWn's
looking pretty good for both players. They kind of got everything they needed. And Bly's not remaking any Infestors. Like.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I'm kind of like, Just, he's remaking 1 Infestor. 1 Infestor with a Dream.
Yeah, that guy could land a hell of a fungal here if the units clump up as they usually do. Whoever attacks is usually at a disadvantage, but it feels like Bly maybe caught ShaDoWn off guard here. Banes start coming in. The Ultra is going to go down very fast here. Finally, Corruptor is getting to work.
Yeah, the Ultralists are mowing down all the ground as well, but they have run into... well, in fact, everything's been absolutely destroyed. Bly just melted the crap out of ShaDoWn here, and BVGGG. I don't know what BVV means, but yeah, Bly, like that was... These games, Todd, they are just making a big army, and then that one was almost as decisive as game 1 with how big a beatdown ShaDoWn gave Bly, but Bly gave ShaDoWn a huge beatdown here.
It's kind of interesting how they're doing the dance, you know, like they're like right next to one another, they're harassing each other, and then there's no real proper engagement for a very long time. And then when you least expect it, that's when Bly is like, oh, I can actually jump you right now. There's no way you're going to be ready. And then as this fight begins, ShaDoWn is like, oh my god, if I had known he would engage here, I would have gotten ready for this fight so much better than I took it now.
Yeah, certainly. Guys and girls, we're going to go to a short break, and afterwards we'll find out who is the victor between Bly and ShaDoWn. It's Bly versus ShaDoWn. The score is 1-1, and we're heading into the third map, which is Oxide. Honestly, Todd, I found ShaDoWn's play probably more weird than I found Bly's this series. Like, the willingness to just sit back and not throw crazy stuff at the Zerg to try and slow them down. I know he's done some Oracle harass here and there with the 3 Oracles and stuff, but it is very brave just kind of willingly going toe-to-toe with the Zerg and letting them macro up as they wish.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see if he makes any adjustments. And yeah, speaking of him, here on Oxide, starting in the bottom left-hand side, in the blue, it is ShaDoWn.
And in the northeast, he's a little crazy. It is Bly.
And the thing about playing more aggressive is that there is always a fine line, you know, like you don't want to be too passive, but also if you start being aggressive, it's easy to be overly aggressive. You know, if you start doing Prism, harassment, big Zealot warp-ins, sometimes if the Zerg is good enough defensively, they're just going to get rid of those units very easily, you know, with Lings, Roaches, and then you're just throwing away units that, you know, are not really achieving anything. So you're spending essentially a lot of the minerals that you have on your side of the map, not doing much for it. So you always have to find like the just middle, you know, like find a way to do some damage in the most cost-effective way possible, which against somebody as good as Bly is always really hard.
By the way, Todd, this game, I would just like to say, it's not just because I'm a noob with Protoss. This is the kind of cheeky stuff he was up to against me too. Like this drone, I'm not really sure what he's going to do with it. I think this Nexus went down earlier than he thought, because as soon as he saw it, he kind of bit his lip a little bit. So I think it's really, given that ShaDoWn didn't mind any gas and still hasn't, I think ShaDoWn cut a little bit. And yeah, it was earlier than Bly anticipated.
Let's see though, ShaDoWn, we've seen him twice with the Stargates into an Oracle and with the Quick Stalker. Let's see if he mixes in something different or if that's really his go-to build. Like, will he again, you know, take the third base, going to triple Stargate carrier? I feel like, especially in game 1, there was a lot of room for him to just try and max out and then play very aggressive and try and break Bly before Bly could get to, you know, a high Broodlord counts.
I wonder what this... The game for me, Todd, it's the story of this drone. Because I don't know what Bly thinks he's going to scout with him extra, or whether he's just trying to, you know, instill fear with his drone. But
that story is about to come to an end, Ben.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I'm just curious because this guy could have gone home a long time ago, and he'd have probably been, you know, like Bly would have known just as much as poor drone.
Just drafted the wrong general.
His sacrifice was actually in vain. Okay, like. Okay, ShaDoWn's actually opting for a totally different opening here. It's the Twilight Council, the Adept first into the Stalker kind of thing. Oh, will that Overlord actually be able to get away? And did Bly scout everything that's going on? He didn't actually get any info with this Overlord, and I think it's actually going to die as well. We can definitely say that this opening for ShaDoWn was way better than the previous games.
And it all started with a drone. How did it end up like this?
A drone in a dream. Oh, totally different to the games prior. Adept
4
Glaives,
gateways.
Todd.
4 gateways and glaives, so big Adept attack coming, and it's playing to his image really well in that he opened Stargates twice in the 2 previous games. So if Bly thinks that could be the case again, and like he has no scout right now, no way to scout, he might blindly get Spores, which is the opposite of what you would want to get against Adepts and Glaive.
And also, you like the latest you want to Roach Warren against this kind of build is kind of like 330, 340. Like 4 minutes would be the absolute latest you want to put down a Roach Warren against this kind of thing. And I think Bly's going to get super bamboozled here.
He knows that something's up, though. He's sending a second Overlord in, and now if the Stalker wants to kill that Overlord, he has to move. Okay, he spots the Prism. He knows this is coming. He's going to start spamming Zerglings. ShaDoWn has to start warping in a lot of Adepts here.
I'm actually a little bit surprised that he just ran the Warp Prism across the Overlord like that. Like, he saw the Overlord with the Pylon. And this, I mean, it's going to be hard for Bly to stop, don't get me wrong. But yeah, that definitely could have been shown what he was doing a lot later, but we'll see how ShaDoWn manages it. Bly has to hold this off without a Roach Warren.
See if he shades or not. The Prism almost completely flew in here. He's trying to get rid of the Queens. He might cancel the Shade. Yeah, he will do that, as he's already on top of those Queens. And that's also preventing some injects here, actually. Now, this time, I think he's going to Shade for real. But the Prism, no! Why did he put it there? It's actually going to go down. No, it's not being sniped. No hit points left, but he's going to Shade into the expansion now, and drones are going to start falling, and then he can Shade to the main base after.
Even though the Warp Prism was definitely mishandled, Todd, I think the damage is already... Look at Bly. 49 out of 130 supply. The boy has 14 Overlords, Todd. He has more Overlords than Lings on the map, pretty much. That is ridiculous.
This is taking the extra Overlords to the next level here for sure. Bly down to 25 workers. What a disaster of a game this has been for him. He did scout the Adept attack, but maybe a little late, and not having the Roach Warren here, absolutely disastrous. ShaDoWn, far from done, will look for any more snipes that he can get. Robo Bay behind this is ready to transition, and his second Prism heading across the map now.
I guess he really didn't want to get supply blocked.
You can get supply blocked with 35 supply out of 130, then. That's for sure.
It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. 49 probes to 19 drones. And you know what? Bly is thinking, maybe it's a DT follow-up. Maybe I'll die to that. And he's getting a small crawler. I like it. Mind on the prize, Todd.
Yeah, ShaDoWn absolutely relentless. It's beautiful, honestly. Like, Stargate in game 1, in game 2, and then in game 3, just completely the opposite. Then just kind of catches Bly off guard, not entirely, but much enough that Bly didn't have roaches on time, and it looks like it's going to be a win for the Frenchman here with this.
I love that ShaDoWn is respecting this way too much. There we go. He goes in. He doesn't realize. And GG is called. Bly